sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt. Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt. Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt.
Lights here, ladies and gentlemen. We have arguably the best matchup of the season tonight between the top two teams in the state, featuring the Bismarck Century Patriots, who are the #1 team in the state with 11 first-place votes with a 7-0 record, and the West Fargo Sheyenne Mustangs, who are the #2 team in the state with 2 first-place votes. They also come in undefeated at 7-0. I am Jackson Miller, alongside is Dan Wolf and former quarterback for the Bismarck Century Patriots, Tom Kirchhoffner. Coming into tonight, we have some overcast weather, 45 degrees with a 15-mile-per-hour wind out of the northwest. The matchup we have here tonight is truly special because it has been these two programs in the Dakota Bowl for the last 2 years, with Century winning both 10-0 in 2019 and 34-0 last year. Century has been a program on the rise in the last decade with 10 Dakota Bowl appearances and winning 4 of them, coming in 2015 and 2016 and 2019 and 2020. Century has 10 conference titles. They have clinched their 15th straight trip to the postseason this year. They hold a 68-8 record since 2015 and are currently on a 29-game winning streak, so Century has not lost in 3 years. Their last loss came against Bismarck High in the 2018 Dakota Bowl. They also joined Fargo South, Shanley, and West Fargo High last year as the only programs to go undefeated 2 years in a row. Sheyenne has also had a great program since they first started back in 2014. They hold a 59-22 all-time record. Sheyenne has only missed the playoffs once, which came in their inaugural season in 2014. They hold a 35-5 record since 2018 and hold a 6-6 record in the playoffs. These two teams have been the top 2 teams in the state since the 2019 season. Century leads the all-time series 4-1. Cheyenne's only victory came in the 2017 opener. The score of that was 16-14. Century defeated Sheyenne in the 2018 opener and the 2018 AAA semifinal by a score of 31-20, along with the 2 Dakota Bowls last year. Now, Tom, Dan, Cheyenne was held to just 178 yards of total offense in last year's Dakota Bowl. So what is Cheyenne going to have to do here tonight against this powerful Century defense?
Well, I tell you what, they're going to definitely have to establish the run game. That's been their bread and butter this year. They've been, right now they got over 2,200 yards of offense from the ground. They lead the state in total offense, so they got to get the run game going, and it's going to be a tough sledding tonight definitely against Century's defense. You know, you got Lucas Schweiger at the UND Division I commit. So if they can establish the run game, I think they're going to win this game. If not, they're going to have to make sure that they're going to connect on their passing work, and he's going to have to find Xander, Newton, and Kellen Entz out on the outside. So hopefully they can get that going as well too.
Both teams have similar play styles, as you said, Tom. Both the Patriots and the Mustangs like to run the ball a lot. Century comes into this game averaging 209.4 yards on the ground. Cheyenne comes into this game averaging 322.6 yards on the ground. Cheyenne leads the EDC in points scored with 238 points, and they've allowed the least amount of points with 56. Rushing attempts with 349 and rushing touchdowns with 29. Century leads the WDA in these categories as well. They've scored 249 points and have only given up 53. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here tonight because Century is averaging 321.5 yards of total offense. Cheyenne is averaging 380.1. Both teams are allowing less than 200 yards per game. Cheyenne is averaging 34 points a game while only giving up 8 on average. Century is averaging 35.5 while only giving up 7 points on average.
Yeah, I think what a hallmark of a Ron Wingenbach coach team is very solid. And I would think for both of these teams, it's almost like looking in the mirror a little bit at each other. Big lines that dominate the line of scrimmage and kind of impose their will on the opposing teams. And so we're going to find out tonight which team is going to be better able to hold up on that imposing their will on the line of scrimmage and pulling off the game plan that they are hoping to. And we'll see maybe if someone has a wrinkle or two up their sleeves. It's a question of how much do you want to show when you know this could be another matchup that's coming at some point in the playoffs. So certainly it's an important game for both teams, but it's also just a game. And so you can't win the state championship tonight, and both teams will be making the playoffs, but I think you got to think long-term goal here over just winning one game.
And the winner of this game will probably clinch the number 1 seed in the playoffs. This year, it's not an East 1, West 4, etc. format. It's going to be groups of seeds 1 through 8 because there is going to be 5 teams from the West in the postseason and 3 teams from the East this year.
Yeah, without a doubt, these two teams definitely want to win this game, especially for Cheyenne. They want to get the kind of momentum and they want to get some confidence against the Century team. But this game doesn't really matter. They're going to be in opposite brackets of the playoff format.
Well, that is going to do it for the Bell Bank Mortgage pregame show. We're going to take a short break and come back and talk about the starting lineups shortly. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to hear the starting lineups here on the PA. We're going to talk about some of the key players tonight here for the Mustangs. They got Josh Hendricks at fullback. He's leading the EDC in touchdowns with 15. He's first in attempts. He's ran the ball 145 times, and he's third in yards, where he's ran for 821 yards on the season. Grant Warkatine at quarterback, 31 for 64 throwing, 403 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's also ran the ball 47 times for 293 yards and 5 scores on the ground, so Grant Warkatine is a dual-threat quarterback. And then you got Xander Nguyen, who is the Mustangs' top receiver this year with 10 catches for 154 yards and 3 scores. So now, Grant Warkatine, 3-year starter now, trying to lead the Mustangs back to another Dakota Bowl. What do you think is his job here down the stretch, Dan?
Well, I think the easiest way to say it is just he needs to be a leader and to take care of the ball and be smart. When we talk about passing statistics, and he has 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, high school passing statistics are a little misleading. Lots of times you end up throwing balls in situations that maybe you're not comfortable with and those sorts of things. I think what you touched on, him being a dual-threat quarterback and the fact that he can run the ball, that's probably going to be his biggest strength. And I think just taking care of the ball and really dictating the pace that Coach Newton wants to go at is going to be the important thing for Grant as the season wears on here. And being battle-tested in 2 Dakota Bowls certainly is going to be a bonus for him as well.
Now, the Century Patriots, their leading rusher is Peyton Art out of the backfield. 95 carries, 588 yards, and 10 scores coming in this game. Their quarterback, Brady Dahl, is also a dual threat quarterback. He can throw and run. He's 47 for 76 on the year throwing, 785 yards with 2 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And he's ran the ball for 74 times for 382 yards and 10 scores as well.
Yeah, they do an awesome job over at Century right now. They just got a well-balanced offense, and you got Dahl and Arndt that they're number 1 and number 2 in the WDA scoring. Dahl's number 1 with 62 points, and then Arndt's at 60 points in the WDA. So right now they're just a well-balanced team, and that's what it's going to come down to, I think, tonight, is which team can be well-balanced. Cheyenne is, definitely run-heavy, and if Workington can connect on his passes, I think it's going to be a win for the Mustangs.
Well, I think the O-line and the D-line for both teams would be a big factor. Obviously, Century, they outmatched the Mustangs on both sides. The Century D-line was dominant. They had a Kansas State commit. And then, the O-line was pretty dominant. Kay Garcia was all over the Mustangs out of the backfield. Last year, during his senior year, he finished with 197 carries, 1,259 yards, and 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's certainly probably any fan that's familiar with the last 2 meetings between these teams, they know how those games ended up, and certainly Cheyenne's looking to make sure that they get on the board tonight and play it tough. But you're absolutely right, Jackson. Owning that line of scrimmage is so vitally important in high school football, because you're not going to be able to run the ball the way you want. You're not going to get the pass protection that you need to survey the field and work through your progression in passing game. So, which team is able to own the line of scrimmage and maybe disrupt the other is going to be an important factor tonight. And then who manages to hit on maybe one of those bigger pass plays, that could turn the momentum pretty quickly for both of these squads.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you got Grant Workington. He's a 3-year starter, and I know he probably had better, passing percentage stats, in his sophomore and junior year. He had Tyler Tarrick, but way this team is built is on him and his decision making, whether to give the ball to Josh on the dive or to keep it himself or to pitch it to the option guy. And he's doing a really outstanding job of leading that team and leading the number 1 offense in the state. And so, if he does have to pass it, without a doubt, I mean, he can get the job done. He's got the guys, he's got the players, but it's just a matter of Cheyenne getting in position where they're feeling comfortable. They don't want to get behind right away, and their style is running the ball and getting up right away.
Yeah, that was what really hurt them in those Dakota Bowl appearances. It's not a team that's built to score points in bunches. They're more grinded out on the ground, 7, 8, 9-minute drives if they can, and that just worked against them in the Dakota Bowl series that they had. So, who gets off to that quick start? You're right, Coach. Decision-making will be a huge factor probably for both quarterbacks tonight in making sure that they're successful. And this is not the same Century team. This is a team that's given up points this year. They've struggled at times. They struggled against Dickinson. They were down 7-0 to Shanley a couple weeks ago, a team that Cheyenne defeated. Now they went 49-0 in the second half on them, but certainly not the same team that maybe the last 2 years have been.
Cheyenne is going to kick off here for the first half, so they will receive the ball at the start of the second half. Century to receive first. We're about to get underway for possibly the biggest game of the year. We are underway. That kickoff's a little bit right. Received around the 25. He cuts back. He's going to be stopped around past the 35, up to the 38 to start for the Century Patriots. So good field position now on their first drive coming up. And now you'll get to know the Mustang starters on the defensive end.
Kirkby, defensive end, Mapleton Elementary.
Carter Menz, DN, out of the Horace Elementary.
Dan Parson, defensive tackle, Rita Murphy Elementary.
Andy Cook, defensive line, Aurora Elementary.
Coming up and making the tackle
Nick
on the
Renner,
kickoff
linebacker,
team
Horace Elementary.
for the Mustangs.
Matt Shrive, linebacker, Eastwood Elementary.
Tanner Hagel, linebacker, the Horace Elementary. Brady Dudenheffer, cornerback, Aurora Elementary.
Noah Olson, cornerback, Horace Elementary.
Kellen Entz, safety, Freedom Elementary.
Tate Gustafson, safety, Independence Elementary.
And here we go. Arndt drops back. He's going to fire deep. Passes a little too strong on there, incomplete. 3rd and 8 coming up now from the 40.
Yeah, and they had twins to the Cheyenne side, and the outside receiver, he ran a curl route, and the inside receiver, he ran a wheel route. And, Coach Wingenbach seeing if he can get a touchdown right away. Hopefully that corner would have gone with the curl, but good job of sitting and staying back and not giving up the big play right away.
Good discipline. I was going to ask you that, Tom. Does that surprise you that Coach Wingenbach's going to look to try and hit something big to start?
Yes, without a doubt, and also I would say their play script and their doggo that they have.
3rd and 8 here. Arndt's going to roll out to his right once again. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to be 4th down coming up now. Mustangs get a big stop there on the opening drive.
Yeah, number 11, Tanner Hegel, putting a hit on the corner on the wide receiver. He's down real quick, maybe a rib injury. Century had 3 receivers. They ran a little flood route inside receiver, kind of running a little 5-yard drag, and then you got a 10-yard out, and then 1 receiver going deep, and just weren't able to connect on it.
Both pass plays, we had a rollout by Century, trying to move that pocket, maybe buy Arndt a little more time to survey the field before the pass.
And here's the punt. That's going to be tackled right around the 27.
Yeah, heads-up play by Tate Gustafson. The Century player hit the ball, so, you can pick it up, and if you fumble it, it doesn't really matter.
And now here's the offensive starters for the Mustangs.
Mason Hart, left tackle, the South Elementary.
Sam Carpenter, left guard, and the Westside Elementary.
Josh Hendricks with the big carry there. He'll pick up the 1st down with an 11-yard gain. Or 2nd and 2, excuse me. Just short of the 1st down.
Still has to be an encouraging sign for the Mustangs to gouge Century for 8 yards on that first carry.
It's going to be a run once again. Short gain. Race Wilson, sophomore. He'll pick up the 1st down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, great job right now by Cheyenne of establishing the line of scrimmage, picking up 8 yards on the first play, and then Race Wilson picking up the 1st down right there. So, this is great to see for Cheyenne.
Absolutely. Keep that chain gang working out there. Keep moving those chains.
1st and 10 from the 42. Working's going to hand off. I think that's Wilson. He breaks free on the outside. He'll get down to the 30. Race Wilson with a couple big carries now for the Mustangs.
Touchdown saving tackle there maybe. If he doesn't get a hand on that ankle, Wilson maybe goes the distance.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a very explosive start and an explosive burst by Race Wilson there.
I bet you the basketball coach would be happy to see that kind of quickness from Race Wilson in the future.
It's going to be another carry to the left.
Well, I don't know if we want to talk about at basketball camp where we made Race Wilson and Jackson Miller race across the 2 basketball courts to see who was the fastest 8th grader. You remember that, Jackson?
Oh, yeah. Race got a better start than me. I ended up winning the race, but we were pretty much neck and neck the whole time. Yeah, Race is a quick dude. Very agile. Work team's going to hand that off to Hendricks. He's going to get inside the 30.
Yeah, I would like Race to be a track athlete. He just seems like he's a 100, 200 stud, but he's also a 3-sport athlete doing basketball and baseball as well.
Race is also pretty good. He was pretty good at the long jump back in 7th grade track as well. He's one of the top long jumpers on our team. 3rd and short now from the 30. It's going to be a handoff to Wilson. He'll cut up back inside. He's going to pick up the first down. Mustangs moving the ball here just outside the red zone now.
And that's got to be a good sign, again, for Sheyenne. The last broadcast we did a couple weeks ago against Minot, we saw Caden Rahr go down and was nursing that shoulder and weren't really sure how severe that injury was, but it's enough to keep him out of the lineup tonight. So without one of your big horses, for Sheyenne to get this kind of drive to start the game, that's super promising for Coach Newton and his squad.
Here's a handoff to Hendricks to the left. Short gain there. Couple yards on the play.
Well, right now it's just the game is being won up front. The O-line, they're doing an awesome job of just pushing back the Century D-line right now, and it seems like we're getting 4 or 5 yards a pop here, and all the big runs have came to that right side for the Sheyenne Mustangs.
2nd and 5 from the 17. Warteen's going to roll out to his left. Looking shallow. Pass is caught.
Number 87.
Xander Newton with the reception on the play. That's going to be
Yeah, great play call there with, I believe that was, 2nd and 5 there.
2nd and 5.
And that's the, down where you kind of want to go with that play action. And, if it would have went right, it would have been a bad play.
So the Mustangs pick up the first down. Here's 1st and goal from the 7. Handoff up the middle. Josh Hendricks picks up just a couple on that play. Second and goal from the 5.
It was a good little wrinkle from the Mustangs there. Not something I think that I've seen this year, but again, getting Workentine out of the pocket and that little flood route going across the field, much easier to try and find a man on that.
Hands it off to Wilson to the right. Not much on that play. 3rd and goal coming up.
Field gets awful small down there. It's hard to create any space on the field just by alignment. So Cheyenne's going to have to find a way to somehow pound something in here, or maybe use that play action to their advantage, the way that they've been able to gouge Century so far, and maybe that'll open something up for maybe a tight end or something on the outside.
And we haven't seen Workentine yet run yet, and on an option play with him.
3rd and goal from the 4. Mustangs trying to punch it in. It's going to be a handoff. Nice. Touchdown, Mustangs! Connor Entz punches it in for the Mustangs for their first score of the night, 6-0.
So that answers the question on if Sheyenne was going to get on the board tonight. They had been 0 for the 8 quarters against Century in the last 2 years. So I think for Coach Newton, and what do you think, Tom? Can you script anything better? You march down the field, you get big chunks of yards, really successful drive.
Yeah, the game is won in the trenches, and right now they've established that.
Extra point is blocked. So it remains 6-0 here.
But, you look at it, Century hasn't allowed a single point in the first quarter all season long, and so that was the first time that they've been scored on in the first quarter. Century has outscored their opponents 89-0. Wow. So it's outstanding that Sheyenne can go down there and march, and then with Connor Entz scoring there for a second, I thought it looked like Carter Menz, and Connor Entz has gotten pretty big too this off season, and he stepped up big with James Hagan being out with the shoulder injury, and Ty Schlichting also being out with the shoulder injury, and he's kind of been just kind of an athlete, kind of a utility man. He can kind of do it all, whether that be receiver, running back, quarterback, and he stepped in and did an awesome job of finding the end zone.
So the Mustangs, great start. They got a 3-and-out stop on defense, marched the ball right down the field for the first score of the game.
And I think that's a good point, Jackson. It's not like Cheyenne got the opening kickoff and took it down. They also got a 3-and-out against Century, and so really both sides of the ball, it's been going about as well as you could ask for Cheyenne to begin the game.
And here we go. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be to the right once again. I think that's what the Mustangs are going to do tonight. He's tackled right around the 35. So Century will start once again right around the 35. See if they can cross into Mustang territory on this time out.
Number 8, Carter Men's coming up and making the tackle.
First and 10 from the 36. We'll see if Century can march down and get a score of their own. Arndt's going to hand it off. He's going to cut around up to the 45, I believe.
That was Brady Dutenheffer on the stop.
Brady Dutenheffer on the stop.
Came up with a nice open field tackle, but 8 yards for Century, 8.5, 9 on that first.
And here's what Coach Wingenbach's going to do right now. You know, the first series he just went with a run, and then he kind of went with the 2 passes right away, and they had incomplete. But now he's gonna want to establish the line of scrimmage right now.
Second and 1 from the 45. Peyton Arndt with the 9-yard gain on that last play.
So that previous play, they ran they pulled a other guard and kind of ran a little counter back. And Art got going, and then now they're just going to go to the strength, whether it's going to the tight end or going to the fullback. Wingenbach, he doesn't really disguise too much. It's just he's going to show you what he's going to do, and he's going to try to establish that run game.
Ron Wingenbach was also former Coach of the Year. Last year, he was voted Coach of the Year for the Century Patriots. Here's a little sweep to the right. Mustangs trying to make the tackle, and they finally do right around the 46, and they push him out of bounds.
Yeah, give number 8, Jacob Renz, 5'11", senior.
He's also the leading receiver for the Century Patriots, coming in with 8 catches, 189 yards, and a score. Just a bit over 5 minutes remaining now here in the first quarter. 2nd and 5 from the 46 coming up. Dahl hands it off to Arndt once again. He's stuffed in the backfield. The Mustangs make a stand at the line of scrimmage.
That's a great job by number 9, Nick Renner. And also by Parson. He seems like he was drawing 2 guys, and that allowed Renner to just kind of shoot through from the linebacker position.
That was a 3-yard loss. So he was tackled 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by the Mustangs D-line there. 3rd and 8 coming up once again from the 49. We'll see if the Mustangs can stop the Patriots. Dahl's going to drop back. He looks deep.
Nope.
Pass is intercepted at the 15.
Number 12, Entz, making the big play for the Mustangs.
Kellen Entz makes the interception, and the Mustangs will get the ball back once again.
I don't know if that was a busted play for the Patriots, because 2 guys were running post right into each other, and both guys did an outstanding job of staying with their guy, and he just kind of threw it up for grabs, and you're not going to win that against Kellen Entz. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's got a great vertical. He's going to win those jump balls.
Oh, and Arndt had all day in the backfield to survey the field and make a pass, but I think you're right, Tom. The choice of where he threw it, there must have been some kind of mix-up, or maybe that play just developed longer and those receivers stretched those routes out longer than they were supposed to, and somehow ended up in a situation where you're throwing it into really, really good coverage by the Mustangs.
So 1st and 10 coming from the 14 now. It's going to be a handoff to Hendricks, I believe, up the middle to the right. Not a lot on that play. A couple yards.
Yeah, and I don't think Coach Newton's going to mix it up here after that last drive. Just keep establishing the run game, see if they stop it and see what kind of adjustments they're going to make.
2nd and 9 from the 15. Josh Hendricks only picked up 1 on that last play.
And I think, too, this is not the area of the field that you want to start getting, a little too frisky with some of your play calls. You want to stay with your bread and butter.
Here's a handoff to the left side.
Number 6, Connor Entz.
Connor Entz with the carry. Picks up around 5. Ben Mansmith on the stop for the Patriots. 3rd and 3 coming up from the 22.
Gain of about 5 yards on the play makes it 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2. Mustangs looking to keep the drive going.
Nice.
It's going to be a false.
I think an offside
call.
Yep.
And that's where you'd credit to the 3-year starter, Grant Warkatine, of getting them with the cadence there. Heads up play.
That hard count, getting them to jump.
Century D-line makes a mistake there. They'll give the Mustangs a 1st down.
Moving the chains without even running a play.
1st and 10 from the 27. Hendricks to the left. Stuffed at the line.
Handout goes to Hendricks. Number 77 on the tackle, Lucas Schweigert for Patriots.
The UND commit, he just committed this past week. The senior, 6 foot, 270-pound O-line, D-line, Lucas Schweigert, committing to go play for the UND Fighting Hawks.
2nd and 8.
Stop there.
2nd and 8 from the 29. Hand off to Wilson to the right. He gets a nice game, cuts back up. Race Wilson almost got the 1st down. I believe he's going to be just short. Picks up around 7 to 8 yards. And it looks like he will get the 1st down, maybe. Yep, he does.
Yeah, I tell you what, he gets the ball and he's just
he's gone.
He's a flash of lightning. And one thing I liked about that is I was seeing if they were going to run away from 77, I would constantly go to the other side. Don't run to Schweigert's side.
1st and 10 from the 38. Hand off to Hendricks. He goes up the middle. Picks up a few yards.
I think for the most part, Cheyenne's got north and south on these runs pretty much all night. So they haven't been strung out or made to go east and west for very long. They've both Race Wilson with Entz and with Hendricks. They're getting north and south, and they're eating yards quickly with this.
2nd and 6 from the 42. Hendricks picked up 4. Here's a handoff to Entz. Great tackle made there.
Tell you what, this is just a physical football game right now. Just seeing those all linemen go, and I thought I saw 75 Mason Hart. He was getting after a guy. I think he pancaked a guy there. There's bodies on the ground every time, and you can definitely tell that the Cheyenne team wants it.
3rd and 5 from the 43. Patriots looking to make a 3rd down stand here. Mustangs looking to continue the drive. Hendricks to the left. I don't know, is he going to – looks like he got the 1st down.
Yeah, I think they're to give him forward progress. It's going to be enough to move the chains once again.
That'll be another 1st down for the Mustangs. The drive will continue.
I tell you what, left guard for Cheyenne, left tackle, they just push back Schweigert there and just really they're establishing the game, and outstanding job by left guard for Cheyenne Mustangs. And I believe that is number 72, Sam Carpenter.
1st and 10 from the 48. Hand off to Wilson once again. He'll cut back up the middle. Wilson fights for extra yards. Picks up around 3 to 4 yards on that play.
That should be the last play of the first quarter. We wanted to give a shout out here to one of our sponsors for tonight, Bell Bank Mortgage. Bell Bank Mortgage is proud to support the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs. Rates are great, so if you are considering moving up or maybe even becoming a homeowner for the first time, talk to the experts at Bell. We'll help you make home happen. Bell Bank Mortgage, equal housing lender. Go Mustangs.
That is going to conclude the first quarter. Mustangs lead 6-0. We're going to take a short break and be back shortly.
You're watching Cheyenne Mustang Media.
And we are back underway. We are just about to get the second quarter underway here at Essentia Health Mustang Stadium. Mustangs lead 6-0. They're trying to score once again on their second drive of the game. Race Wilson picked up 4 yards on the last play.
Again.
It's going to be another Grant Wargentine. His cadence fools the Century D-line once again. It's going to be an offside.
So, Tom, having played for Coach Wingenbach, is this the type of thing that's going to drive him crazy over there? That, D-line's job is just simply to watch that ball and see when that ball moves.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's 2 penalties right there, and one of them resulting in a first down.
There's a handoff to Hendricks up the middle.
And then the other one's just giving him a free 5 yards where it's making it, second and short, 2nd and 1, and it's still going to be 3rd and 1. So it's almost just setting them up right there. So if that would have been, 2nd and 6, 7, then this would almost turn into a passing situation right here. But, 2 different styles of coaching. I think, Coach Wingenbach, he's more conservative. He's just always going to punt the ball in the back of the, his own field where Newton's always going to roll the dice a little bit.
And Grant Wargentine was on the carry on that last play. He kept it. This time it's to Hendricks to the right. And he's going to pick up the first down. Another first down for the Mustangs, and they'll continue the drive. Mustangs doing a great job of picking up first downs here. Moving the ball on the ground. Not a lot of throwing. We haven't seen a pass, or we've seen just a couple passes from Wargentine. But so far, the Century defense has not been able to contain this powerful rushing offense from the Mustangs.
Well, you can't be faint of heart if you're a linebacker and you see Josh Hendricks coming at you. You got to stick your head in there and go after him.
Here's a hand up to the right side. Wilson breaks free. He's inside the 30, cuts back. He gets up to, there is a flag on the play. Race Wilson got up to around the 21. We'll see what the penalty will be. It's going to be on the offense. Holding. It's going to be a 10-yard. That's going to be pulled back. Not what you want to see if you're Coach Noon after a nice gain there from Race Wilson. But a holding penalty call will set the Mustangs 10 yards back. It's going to remain first down here. First and long. First and 16 now from the 45. So we'll see if the Mustangs can recover from that. They might go to the air here, but I'm assuming they'll stay on the ground. It's going to be another carry for Race Wilson. He'll get up to around the 40, 5-yard gain there. 2nd and 11 coming up.
And right now, you just got to look at it from Cheyenne's perspective is you're going to go for it no matter what. You're not punting here. You're not kicking a field goal. You're just going to try to get 3-4 yards a pop. And right now, just keep giving it to Josh. Keep giving it to. But looks right now they got 3 receivers. So
Wargentine's going to drop back. He'll dump it off to Xander Noon once again. Has his second catch of the night. Up to the 35. Another 5-yard gain there for the Mustangs. 3rd and 6 coming up.
And you have those quick outs. Hitches, I mean, those are just like a run play. and picking up 5-6 yards right there, and now you're looking at 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and so really you're just looking at getting, hey, let's get 3 yards this time or 4 yards, and then we're going to go for it on 4th down.
Yep, the Mustangs have been successful on 4th down this season. Third and 6 from the 35. Handoff to Hendricks to the right side. He's not going to get the first down. So
4th and a long one, maybe?
4th and short coming up.
Yeah, I think Grant, he'll probably try to maybe draw him offside again, with his count, and then I probably expect Josh to get it or Race to kind of get it to this right side right now.
Race Wilson, I'm predicting he'll get the carry on this. Maybe even Hendricks up the middle. It's 4th and 1. 4th and 1 from the 30. So we'll see if Century can make a stand here in their own territory. Hendricks up the middle.
Yeah,
it's going to be a
horse collar tackle.
It's going to be a horse, maybe a horse collar. There is a flag.
Or face mask, one of the two. It just
mask.
Didn't look good when he was getting tackled. It was tackle up high.
Another killer penalty if this is on the. Yeah, it's going to be a face mask on the Bismarck Century Patriots. Another killer penalty for them. And the Mustangs drive will continue. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty, so the ball will be spotted around the 15.
Now, I think that's their 3rd penalty, and 2 of those penalties, 2 out of the 3 penalties have resulted in first downs for Sheyenne, and Cheyenne's got 1 penalty right now.
Sheyenne looking good so far. 1st and 10 from the 15. Hand off to the left side. Josh Hendricks will pick up a few on that play. Mustangs inside the red zone now. 4-yard gain on that. 2nd and 6 from the 11 coming up. Mustangs trying to go up 2 scores. Wargentine. He's going to keep it, but he's going to be tackled right around the 10. Wargentine picks up only a couple yards on the option. Lucas Schweiger on the stop for the Patriots once again, number 77. 3rd and 4 from the 9.
As you pointed out, Tom, they're going for it in any regard. So 3rd and 4, you're going to have 2 shots to pick up that first down here. So certainly going to keep it on the ground.
Hand off to the right to Hendricks.
Yeah, he just did a great job of shutting that first tackler. The Century guy tried to bring him down. He just maybe slowed him up a little bit, and it took about 3 guys to bring down Josh Hendricks. Great job of picking up positive yards there. Now you're looking at 4th and 1. I'm going to say, probably put a guy in motion, try to get him with the count, see if we can get another first down. If not, I'm going to say give it back to Josh or Race Wilson.
Hendricks is a tank, 6'2", or 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Got it.
Hendricks once again picks up the first down. Handoff to the right. Josh Hendricks will get the ball now inside the 5 for the Mustangs.
Awfully tough to bring him down up high. If you're not going to wrap him up down low, you better have a gang of guys with you. And second time in just a few plays, making that first guy miss just because he is so strong, so powerful.
Yeah. 1st and goal from the 3 now. Mustangs just 3 yards away for going up 2 scores against the team that defeated them in the state championship 2 years in a row.
Race
Wilson. Is he going to be in?
Yeah. Tell you what, that was awfully close from
just
up here.
Short. That would have been nice to see from the sophomore.
Obviously, the ref's right on the goal line there, but from the angle we had, it looked like he was maybe a half yard inside the across the goal line before he got stopped and pushed back.
2nd, I believe it's not even at the 1. It's right around the half-yard line. Mustangs just hanging right there.
Yeah, right now you just want to make sure you get a good exchange.
Hand off to Hendricks. He's going to punch it in for the touchdown. His first score of the night, 16th of the season. And the Mustangs go up 2 scores. They lead now 12-0.
Well, I tell you what, anytime it's 4th and 1, I know what play I'm calling, and I know who I'm giving the ball to.
Absolutely.
Another score for the Mustangs. They are now up 12-0. Great start, and they're going to go for 2 here as they failed as their extra point last time got blocked.
Get in.
And he's going to be in.
Yeah, Coach Newton, he's telling him to pitch it. You know, you get that ball at your chest level. You read your end man on the line of scrimmage, and then you pitch it out. And then, you know, sometimes you don't want your quarterback to take the hit. And, you know, Race Wilson, I would say he's the faster of the 2. So I would just, you know, get the ball to Race and let Race go to, you know, that pylon because, you know, you're not going to out-sprint him.
Mustangs lead now 14-0 as they can convert on the 2-point conversion. So the Mustangs have scored on both of their drives so far. Century has been stopped on both of their drives. Century with a couple killer penalties so far in this game that have given the Mustangs a few first downs. So we'll see if Century will clean it up on the defensive end, and we'll see here if Century can finally get their offense going on their 3rd drive of the game. 5:34 remaining here in the first half. And here's the kickoff. He's going to short kick there.
Pooch kick, trying to see if they could catch him off guard and capitalize. As Century takes the field, the offense comes on. We want to remind Mustang fans that when you choose Bell Bank Mortgage, you'll partner with people that are part of the fabric of the communities we serve. At Bell, people come first. No matter where you are, you'll see the Bell difference in your mortgage experience with us.
So the Patriots will start right around the 46, so another good spot. Just their offense hasn't been able to pick up a lot of first downs. Brady Dahl's going to keep it, and he's stopped in the backfield. 1-yard loss.
Yeah, great job by number 55, Parson, coming up in the backfield.
Parson, one of the top D linemen for the Mustangs this season.
Yeah, I played with his dad at the University of Mary. His dad was an All-American defensive end for the Marauders. I was a redshirt freshman, and his dad was a senior. His dad, I don't think, practiced on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays, just showed up on Thursday, and sometimes he didn't play on Thursday or practice on Thursday. He was just a guy that I'm going to play on Friday and Saturday. But he was a great player, great teammate.
It's number 8, Jacob Renz for Patriots, who was shaken up on the play, but jogs off, looks to be okay as a 2nd and 11 upcoming for the Century Patriots.
Jacob Renz, as I said earlier, is Brady Dahl's top target this year. 2nd and long now. Dahl's going to roll out to his right. Pass is incomplete. Almost caught.
Not terrible coverage by Cheyenne there.
Yeah, it was great coverage and great ball by Brady Dahl and put it right.
Yeah,
right on the money, went right through the hands of the receiver, and great pressure too by Cheyenne. They're really forcing Brady Dahl out of the pocket, and I know Wingenbach's calling some rollout passes here, get the quarterback moving, and I'm expecting the same thing right now where you got trips to the far side of the field, so I'm expecting him to roll out right. Maybe throw back to the running back.
That last pass went through Hinderer's hands. Dahl's going to roll to his right once again. He's sacked in the backfield. Big loss. It's going to be sacked. It's going to be a 10-yard loss for the Patriots.
Great job by number 8, Carter Menz, just working upfield, making sure that the quarterback doesn't get outside of him, and just using his athleticism to make the tackle. It's really good to see as a basketball coach when you got your DNs, your basketball players playing football too as well.
Yeah, and I thought you're right, exactly, Tom, that he was able to keep contained there, making sure that Dahl did not get outside.
So 4 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here. 4th and long coming up for the Patriots. They're likely to punt after Carter Menz sacked Dahl for an 11-yard loss. Mustangs lead 14-0 here in the second quarter. We'll take a break. So we are back here. The Patriots are to punt. Carter Menz, who leads the Mustangs in sacks this year, got an 11-yard loss on Dahl. That ball's going to land, we'll see where it ends up, right around the 27. So the Mustangs will start there.
So, Tom, with 3:52 left, a 14-0 lead, what do you think Coach Newton does here? How aggressive do you want to be? Do you take some shots deep and maybe risk a turnover, or do you just kind of stick with the game plan? And if one of your guys breaks it, Race Wilson gets deep or gets loose on something, and then kind of evaluate it? What do you think at this point?
As of right now, I would just say you stick to the run game. You've established the line of scrimmage. You're picking up, 3, 4, 5 yards a run. So just keep going with that, milk the clock, and then once maybe you get in good field position right here, then you could go ahead.
It's going to be a flag.
You could go ahead and run it, Okay. But right now it's field position, and we'll see what happens here with this penalty here.
And it is probably worth noting that Cheyenne's going to get the second half kickoff. So, I'm sure in the back of Coach Newton's mind, he'd love to get a 2-for-1 deal here and get a score at the end of the first half and again before to start the second half. But as you pointed out, you got to be smart about these things as well and not be too aggressive.
So that's going to be a legal motion penalty there for the Mustangs. They'll be sent back.
And really no damage done other than the 5 yards because you still got to replay the down. And then you took off about 20 seconds off the clock.
1st and 15 from the 21. Handoff to Hendricks to the right.
Great job by number 69, Brennan Selheim, with just pushing his block, establishing that hole for Josh. Picking up 4 yards for the Mustangs.
So 2nd and 11 from the 25 coming up.
As we count down towards 3 minutes, do you think Coach Wingenbach thinks about using some of those timeouts here to maybe get a quick possession at the end of the half? Or
it would depend right here.
Warkatine.
Great job. Step up.
He's going to throw it. Pass is intended for Connor Entz, I believe.
Great job by Warkatine of feeling the pressure and stepping inside the pocket. I maybe wish he would have just taken off and for a run there and picked up 5-6 yards. He's a heck of an athlete. And then Race Wilson, he got knocked down the field. He was kind of looking for a penalty and just Warkatine just let his man. He let Entz a little bit too far there. But now
3rd and 11 from the 25.
This is where Wingenbach would use a timeout here.
But stops the clock for him with the incompletion.
So let's see what happens here. Warkatine's going to drop back once again here. He's going to roll out to his left. He fires. He was looking for Logan Holsing there, but that pass is a little too strong there. That goes out of bounds. 4th down coming up for the Mustangs. So great job by the Century Patriots there to finally stop the Mustangs after the Mustangs capitalized on their first 2 scores. Here comes a punt.
Warkatine took a shot on that one, held on to that ball as long as he could, and unable to get a completion out of that and paid the penalty or paid the price for that.
So 2:45 remaining now. Century's going to get one more opportunity here in the first half to get some points on the board. It's going to be a fair catch right around the 44.
And great catch by number 20, Ryan Benjolson, for the Century Patriots. And, one thing with the Workington on that last possession there, I know he's trying to get rid of it, but he's got to make sure that he can't throw back across the field, because if it gets deflected or if he does get hit a little bit more, that's going to be up in the air.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pass.
And I think you mentioned it a week ago, something about, Brett Favre throwing across his body. You never want to do that.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 44. It's going to be handoff to Arndt. Payne Arndt not going to get much. 1 yard at the most. Mustangs D-line comes up big once again.
Under 2:30 now to go before half. Still no one's biting on using a timeout.
2nd and 9 from the 45.
Yeah, Century tried to pull the guards there and try to run behind their blockers, but right now it's just the D-line and O-line for the Mustangs are just kind of establishing that line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9. Dahl's going to roll out to his left, throws across his body, pass is incomplete. Broken up by number 4, Noah Olson. Sophomore cornerback for the Mustangs.
And great job by number 30, Andy Cook, coming up from the, he's playing D-line. Andy Cook is 5'10", 190. He's not the biggest guy, but he's very strong. He's very fast. He's probably one of the, pound for pound, one of the strongest guys on the team, and just kind of bull rushed his guy. And then once he saw the quarterback roll out, he just went right after him and put pressure on him.
After that incomplete pass, broken up by Noah Olson, 3rd and 9 from the 45. Century, once again, trying to convert here on 3rd down. They haven't all night.
Pick.
Passes intercepted. Dahl throws his 2nd interception of the night. And the Mustang defense coming up big. Century not looking good for them.
Number 11, Tanner Hegel, making the interception there. I don't know if the quarterback, Brady Dahl, saw him, because Hegel was just standing right there, and it was just almost like
right
a pitch.
Between the numbers.
Yeah, it was pitch and catch there, and great play by the senior for the Mustangs.
So the Mustangs capitalize once again. They're looking for revenge from the past 2 years, and it's looking good right now. We'll see if they can keep it up going into the second half. They'll get one more opportunity here. They'll probably go to the air.
Short field with 1:48 to go.
Yep. Here we go. 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Wilson. To the right. He cuts back up to the middle. Doesn't pick up much. Picks up around 3 yards.
Uh-oh.
I believe Race Wilson actually fumbled. Couldn't quite see it with the big pile, but Century going to get the ball back right after the Mustangs got an interception there by Tanner Hegel. Right after he picked Dahl off, Race Wilson fumbles. Century will get another shot.
Reminder to all of you listeners that special treat at halftime here today. We're going to have Kenyon Wingenbach. Yes, that is the same Wingenbach family. The new head coach of the West Fargo Cheyenne girls basketball program will be joining us at halftime for a little chat about what we can expect from the Mustang girls basketball team this winter.
We're glad to have him part of the coaching staff this year for our girls varsity basketball program. He comes from a Bismarck Century girls program that's been a dynasty. They won the state championship back in March. Great tackle made there.
Number 22, Matt Tribe, coming up from the linebacker position.
Matt Tribe makes the big stop.
Got a Century Patriot down on the field.
1 minute exactly left on the clock here to halftime.
West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs.
Paynard, the starting running back for the Century Patriots, was shaken up on that last play. We'll see if he's okay. Less than a minute remaining here in the first half.
Watch the throwback.
Dahl. That's going to be another turnover. Or no, he's sacked in the backfield.
Theron Parson is having
Body
a
fumbled.
tremendous game for the Mustangs here tonight.
Yeah, great job by Parson of getting in the backfield. I was expecting they had 3 receivers to the far side of the field and a single receiver, so I thought they were going to run maybe a throwback where a guy's running a post and then he cuts back to the corner. But Wingenbach just kind of wanted to pick up some yards, see if he could get a first down, and now he's just playing the field position game, playing smart football here, and just going to make his adjustments at halftime.
Parson with another sack, his second in the night. Patriots have to punt once again. It's going to be return here. Tackled right around the 27.
Great job by number 13, Tate Gustafson, of fielding the punt and picking up some positive yards there for the Mustangs. You got 4 seconds left in the second quarter. Expect Cheyenne just to take a knee and go into halftime and build on that.
So as the first half is coming to a close here, really, it's kind of looking like last year's championship game, although it's not as high scoring. Patriots were up 24-0 when it was going into halftime, but really it's been the opposite. The Mustang defense has shut down the Patriot offense here tonight with a couple sacks in the backfield by Menz and Parson. And then Cheyenne's just been marching the ball down the field with Hendricks, Wilson, and Entz. It's been a great first half for the Mustangs, and you couldn't ask for a better start. We'll see if that can continue into the second half.
Hey, Mustang fans, remember, Bell Bank Mortgage is proud to support West Fargo Cheyenne sports, whether you're in the classroom, at home, or both. We hope you're inspired this year to push yourself beyond what you even imagined and never stop learning. Go Mustangs, Bell Bank Mortgage, equal housing lender. Remember, Mustang fans, if you want to rejoin us in a couple minutes, we're going to be joined by Kenyon Wingenbach, head coach for the West Fargo Cheyenne girls basketball team. But at halftime, it is West Fargo Cheyenne 14, Bismarck Century 0, and we're going to take a break.
And I heard that I was ugly. Came from a chick who man wanna touch us. In my face, bomb, abs tight, backstab, I'm shack height, cherry on me, flashlight. I've been listening last night, hitting with that good, make you wanna act right. Both boys don't deserve no kitty. I know that's right. Big bad bustin' up the Billy Band, take a mirror, litty, I can party back, now how I give it up. It's big bad bustin' up the Billy Band, take a mirror, looking back, party back, now how I give it up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up. Not the Bentley band, take a man, working back, body back, now how I give it up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up. Hey, up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up. It's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up.
Okay, Mustang fans, welcome back to halftime of the Sheyenne Mustangs and Bismarck Century Patriots. We're pleased to be joined here in the media, or in the crow's nest, so to speak, with Kenyon Wingenbach, the new head girls basketball coach at West Fargo Cheyenne. Kenyon, welcome in.
Thank you.
So obviously this fall has to be have a completely different feel for you, new town, not coaching football, not with your dad. Give us a little story or a little feeling about how it's been different for you this year, and maybe what you're missing and how it just seems not to be quite the same.
Yeah, really missing Friday nights. You can't really replicate that in anything in life, really. Like those that played high school football, they kind of relive those days all the time, because there's nothing like Friday nights, and it's like that as a coach too. But coaching with my dad, and Tom knows this too, it's such a special time, because it doesn't last forever, and it had to end sometime, and for me it ended last year was state championship. So really grateful for all the times we had together, but yeah, definitely just I get to talk to him a lot, and he still kind of runs things by me a little bit, but it is different for sure.
How has the move been so far from Bismarck to West Fargo?
Move's been really good. A lot of similarities as far as school district and how everything's organized. There's a few things that I'd had to learn, and luckily I have some awesome people around me to help out. But I've been asking a lot of questions, but you know, I love the culture around this school, how the expectations are high, and they're going in the right direction, and so overall I think it's a plus.
Coach Wingenbach, he's the head girls basketball coach for the Sheyenne Mustangs. He's also a former quarterback for the Century Patriots. He set the passing record for the Patriots in 2004.
Do you know whose record he broke?
Thank you.
He broke mine.
Oh,
he broke
okay.
Mine. But the thing about
folks,
it,
I got paid $10 to ask that question by Coach Kirchhoff.
I did tell Kenyon this, though. I think he was going into his junior year that I said, you're going to break the record. I'm not going to have it much longer. So, and Kenyon, I think he does remember that. Yep. Talking about basketball here, Hoops, what are you excited about this upcoming season?
I think we have a really, really good group, well balanced. We only have 2 seniors, but we have 12 juniors. Fairly young team, but very experienced team, and it's kind of a good combination. We've got a little bit of everything as far as you know, the point guard. We got shooters, we've got posts, and so everything you would kind of want in a team we have, and it's just putting it together. They have to learn a new system. They have, you know, a lot of things are new, and we're hoping we can maybe streamline that a little bit and find some success early.
Kenyon, you know, for folks that, you know, maybe are familiar a little bit with Bismarck Century girls basketball, and you know, you've been a part of that program, and certainly it's one of the best and most respected programs across the state. But for folks that maybe don't know you and they're coming out to a Cheyenne girls basketball game this year, what should they expect from the Mustangs? What's going to be a hallmark of teams coached by Kenyon Wingenbach?
Defense. Man-to-man defense is going to be number one, and I think that's going to be something that maybe is a little newer, especially to this side of the state. You know, there's a lot more zone played out east, and the teams we've played from the east the past 8 years at Century, we've seen a lot more zone than we have in the west. But the way we play it is a little different. We're going to be pressuring a little bit more and kind of using our size as well and length. But we're going to get up and down, and probably won't shoot as many threes as Tom's team, but hopefully we can make just as many.
So one last thing that I have for you, Coach, is you know, you probably didn't have this scenario very often when you were coaching with your dad, but you have a Century football team down 14-0 at halftime. What type of things do you think your dad is talking to his players about at this point, in terms of how do they get back in this game in the second half and maybe have a chance to pull off an upset or to come back and win?
Yeah, the key so far has been third down, and both teams, whenever they get in third and long, they get stuck, and Cheyenne knows that. They've been able to they've been able to have more plays in the plus territory, so it becomes 4-down territory. So even though they have 3rd and long, they can get it back to 4th and manageable. And Century, I don't know how many plays they've run in Cheyenne's territory yet. So they're just living in 3rd and long. He's talking about, winning 1st down, winning 2nd down, because right now they're doing okay on 1st down, but they're struggling a lot on 2nd down and 3rd and long against Cheyenne. I think the last 2 games Century's played against Cheyenne, they've completed 5 balls to receivers total. And so it's the best pass defense in the state for a while now, and you're seeing that tonight.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Coach, for taking the time to visit with us. We're all excited to see what the Mustangs are able to do this year with both coaches here, both the boys and girls coach, Tom Kirchhoffner and Kenyon Wingenbach. So, Kenyon, we appreciate you coming up and sharing a little time with us, and we'll let you rub it in one last time on Tom before you leave as to who holds the career passing records at Bismarck Century.
We're all Mustangs right now, and it's all about giddy up and run wild.
Yeah, and I will say that Tom and I are both out of the top 10, I think, and we're not that old, so it's changed quite a bit. But I appreciate you guys having me up here. I'm really excited for the season to start, and go Mustangs.
Thank you very much. That was Kenyon Wingenbach, girls coach for the Mustangs. We're going to take just a very short break, and we'll be back for second half action here at Sheyenne Essentia Health Stadium.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from getting the second half underway. Just want to remind you of some games going on around the West. Bismarck High is taking on Legacy at Bismarck Legacy, and Jamestown is taking on Minot in the Magic City. And along for the EDC, tonight Fargo Davies is taking on Fargo North up at Fargo North, Grand Forks Red River at Shanley, and Mandan at West Fargo High.
Well, as we look at a second half, Mustang Media is able to confirm there was a request put in by the Bismarck Century coaching staff to examine to see how much eligibility touchdown Tommy Kirchhoffner had left in his career to see if they might be able to use him for the second half. But we can confirm that his eligibility has been used up, so the Century Patriots will have to go without touchdown Tommy the rest of the way.
No comment. We do got a score update. Bismarck Legacy is up 24-15 on Bismarck High. Bismarck High hasn't scored in a while, so they finally got on the board, but they're down 9 to the Legacy Sabres.
So now, as the second half is about to get underway, honestly, Cheyenne, I believe you guys agree with me on this. Cheyenne just needs to continue to do what they're doing. Don't fix what isn't broken. Century is going to have to find a way to get it going on offense, and really, they're going to have to find a way to get it going on defense as well, especially the D-line for Century. They're going to have to get it going to stop that powerful rushing offense of the Mustangs.
Well, with Cheyenne getting the ball to start, obviously Coach Newton's hoping for a time-consuming drive that puts some points on the board. And all kidding aside, Tom, would you agree with what Kenyon had to say about probably what Coach Ron Wingenbach was talking about at the halftime, or do you think they're going to look to make a lot of adjustments, or just really reinforce what their game plan was coming in?
Yeah, it's going to come right down to that, third down play, and if Century can get in manageable, whether it be 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, it just seems like Cheyenne has Century on its heels right now.
And I would say too, Wingenbach has probably talked to his team about cleaning up the penalties. They really don't want that as well, especially when they got a chance to stop the Mustangs. Both of those drives the Mustangs scored on really were because of those killer penalties, because you got the offside calls and then the face mask on 3rd and short, 4th and short. It's really killer, especially when the Mustangs are marching down and they're getting close to the red zone.
And then listening to Kenyon Wingenbach talk at halftime that, only 5 completions.
Oh.
Only 5 receivers have caught completions against against Cheyenne secondary. So that just tells you how great of a defense that they had. And, I was with Coach Wingenbach Kenyon at the West Fargo Cheyenne game, and he talked highly of Cheyenne's defense, of how tough they are and how, their schemes that they run. It's a tough defense to play against, and right now Cheyenne is winning the line of scrimmage, and they're just kind of having their way.
Yeah, Cheyenne, as I said earlier at the beginning of the stream, Cheyenne's only given up 8 points on average. So here we go. The second half is underway. We'll see if Century can get back in this. Mustangs looking to continue that lead. They'll start with the ball here. It's going to be returned out to the 20-yard line. And since at the beginning of the stream we didn't get to meet the offensive starters for the Mustangs, here they are.
Mason Hart, left tackle, the South Elementary.
Sam Carpenter, left guard, and the Westside Elementary.
Oakley Eagleson, center, Aurora Elementary. Dawson Goldie, right guard, the Horace Elementary. Go Hornets.
Brennan Selheim, right tackle, Yusuf Elementary.
Logan Holsling, wide receiver, the Horace Elementary. Go Hornets.
Xander Newton, wide receiver, the Aurora Elementary. Caden Rahr, running back, Freedom Elementary.
Connor Entz, running back, the Freedom Elementary. Go Flyers. Joshua Henricks, fullback, the Horace Elementary. Go Hornets.
Grant Michael Workentine, the first quarterback, the Horace Elementary.
Bryce Wilson picked up 5 yards on that last carry. Jacob Wren's on the stop. He plays on both sides of the ball. Hendricks to the right. Not much on that play. The Century D-line able to come up big there.
Number 27, Seth Nelson, the senior 5'11" linebacker, coming up and making the tackle for the Patriots.
Got to believe Coach Wingenbach challenged his team at halftime. I think most coaches around the state, they're okay with losing a game, but I think Coach Wingenbach was not happy with the consistent effort. We talked about the penalties and those things, and we'll see what this defense is able to do, see if they can get a quick stop, get the ball back, and see if they can make something out of that.
3rd and 5 now from the 24. It's going to be handoff to Wilson. Once again, he'll cut up. Century D-line there once again. Not much. Mustangs probably picked up around 2 yards on that play, so 4th down coming up. I believe the Mustangs will go for this, or nope, they're going to punt it. Punting formation coming out. As they're deep in their own territory. They don't want to risk anything here. They're giving this Bismarck Century Patriots a free score. Workentine's going to punt. That's going to be a fair catch at the 45.
By number 20, Ryan Bajolfson making the catch for the Patriots.
Ryan Bajolfson.
You can definitely tell Coach Wingenbach, he challenged his team at halftime, and they responded by getting a 3 and out, and they're getting the ball at the 45-yard line.
I guess we don't have the stats here, but maybe the best field position of the night for Century, with maybe the exception of the fumble late in the first half by the Mustangs.
Here's a handoff up the middle. Peyton Art Number 22 there on the carry. Picks up 5.
Straight dive for the Century Patriots, and number 30, Andy Cook, making the tackle, and number 22, Matt Tribe, making the tackle.
So here's 2nd and 5 after that 5-yard gain by Peyton Arndt. From the 50, right at midfield. Another handoff to Arndt. He tries to cut up. Mustang D-line is there once again to stop.
Tribe making the tackle, and Carter Menz coming over to wrap up his legs.
The D-line for the Mustangs has just been unbelievable tonight. Menz with a couple sacks, Parson with a couple sacks, and then the whole D-line just swallowing Arndt up the middle there. So now it's 3rd and 5.
So this is what we talked about, right? If Century could get into some manageable 3rd down territory, maybe that gives them an opportunity to go for it on 4th down. We'll see how they handle this situation.
Dahl's going to drop back, short, quick pass. Incomplete.
Yep, the Patriots just ran a simple hitch route. Number 1, Trayton Hinder, and quarterback Brady Dahl just kind of threw it outside, just threw it a little early, tried to get a timing. And like, Coach Wingenbach talked about, at halftime, Coach Kenyon Wingenbach said, there's only 5 completions that they've had on this defense. Yeah. And so the pressure, it just makes it really tough on the quarterback.
So Winder has had a couple targets tonight. One was through his hands right before the big sack by Menz. And then that one on that last play. Great return here.
Number 13, Tate Gustafson.
Gustafson with a nice return there up past the 45. It's gonna be right at the 45.
I tell you what, you can definitely tell that he's a baseball player. He is smooth catching that football on those punts. Yeah. He does an outstanding job.
Gets going as the ball is coming to him. Great return there. Mustangs will get good field position here, starting at the 45.
Yeah, that looks a lot like an outfielder getting his weight behind him for a throw, to a base or home, and getting that weight going in the correct direction just leads to some really big returns.
Here's a carry by Wilson up the middle. Not much.
Number 50 and number 77 making the tackle for the Century Patriots. Number 77, the D1 commit, Lucas Schweigert.
6 foot, 270 pounds. A lot of size on the D-line there for the Patriots. Something we've seen in the past. Handoff to Hendricks up the middle. Stuffed once again. So the rushing, Century doing a great job now. Not allowing a lot of yards on the ground there. Hendricks is stuffed for not a lot of yards there.
Coach Bubba Schweigert should be happy what he's seeing out of Lucas Schweigert here. That's for sure. He's really come to play this second half as we're under 8 minutes to go. 4 minutes already gone out of the second half so far.
3rd and 6 from the 49. So both sides of the ball, both defenses have really been shutting down the running game. See if the Mustangs can get a first down. Workington's going to roll out to his right. Pass is complete to Hendricks. Nice gain there. First down, Mustangs.
Yeah, great job by Workington there of just kind of being patient and letting that play develop, letting Josh get open. He also had number 6, Connor Entz, wide open too, and there was only one Patriot there to cover both guys, so he just kind of waited for that linebacker to kind of float out a little bit longer to Entz, and then he found Josh there for a wide open play.
Great play there. Hendricks is going to get the ball this time on the ground to the left side. Still not a lot of yards, 1 to 2 yards at the most.
Yeah, those are hard fought. He's working for those yards in the second half so far.
We'll see, on the recent trend now. I wonder if the Mustangs will go to the air more. I believe that they'll remain confident in Hendricks and Entz and Wilson to get those carries, but it'll be interesting to see if Workington will have some more throws in this second half. But I think the Mustangs will try to play keep away, though, as well, and having the clock just continue to tick. Entz is going to get it to the left side. Still not a lot of yards. The Century D-line there is Once again, no gain on that play. They're there at the line of scrimmage.
Anyway, I mentioned in the first half how well it went for Cheyenne when runners got north and south and just tried to make things happen. And I think Ent's trying to string that out and looking for that opportunity to go upfield at some point. That just didn't pan out there for him. And so now kind of flipped here. Now Cheyenne's facing a 3rd and 9. It's 4-down territory probably, but probably not the situation you want to be in if you're Coach Newton.
Yeah. 3rd and 9 from the 38. Wargantine's going to roll out to his right. Pass is intended for, I believe,
number 6,
Connor Entz. Pass was intended for Connor Entz, but that is incomplete. A little too strong there by Wargentine. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, you had number 87, Xander Newton. He's running a fade route. That's a clear-out route. And then Connor Entz he's running a 10-yard out, trying to pick up the 1st down. And Grant just couldn't put it on him. And right now you got ball on the 38-yard line. And this is right now I love this play by Coach Newton of just punting the ball, of playing the field position game. This is how Coach Wingenbach plays. He plays the field position game.
Smart decision there by Newton to punt this ball. Wargentine will punt that. That's going to be out of bounds around the 10. So the Patriots will start there. Great punt there by Grant Wargentine. So now it's going to be a tough drive here. The Patriots are going to have to drive around 90 yards to score here.
Oh, the official, they marked it out at the 15-yard line.
Marked it out at the 15.
Yeah, 23-yard punt there, but still it's a positive play. You're playing the field position game. You're making it difficult on the offense for Century. They got to go 85 yards.
Yep, 85.
5:44 to go left here in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 from the 15. Hand off to Arndt to the left. Mustangs there to make the stop at the 15. No gain.
Number 9, Nick Renner coming up, making the play. Century trying to run to the 2-man side. They have the tight end on the right side, Twins on the bottom left, and going to that 2-man side. And Nick Renner doing an awesome job of shooting through the gap and making the tackle.
Nick Renner, one of the better linebackers from the Mustangs. He had a pick 6 against West Fargo High a month ago in the 2nd game of the year. He returned it for 55 yards for a score. Mustangs went on to win that one 28-7. Here's Dahl. He's going to keep it for 5 yards.
Yeah, that was a great play by Nick Renner in that West Fargo game, returning that interception for a touchdown. He's a 2-year starter. He's a senior. When you have all these guys he's a junior. Okay. Good to know. So that's good. Good to have him back.
A junior, yep. So we'll still have another year for him. 3rd and 4 now from the 21. Century looking to keep this drive alive. A punt would not be good as the Mustangs would get great field position. Dahl's going to drop back, roll to his right, just a bend. He's sacked once again. Right around the 10. 11-yard loss. Theron Parson with his 3rd sack of the night. And the Mustangs will make another stop, and the Patriots will be forced to punt deep in their own territory.
Tell you what, he's having a heck of a game, number 55, Parson. He is living in the backfield.
3 sacks for Parson on the night. Here's the punt. Great punt, actually. That's all the way back at the 45. It's going to be returned, though. Great tackle there, right around the 48. Jacob Bosley, number 3, with a great tackle there, right around the 48. 3:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Another outstanding job by Tate, number 13 for the Mustangs, of catching the punt and getting upfield. And that's one thing you like to see as a coach is seeing the guy catch the punt cleanly. And it always worries you when a guy, if he's bobbling it back there, and sometimes those can be game changers or momentum swingers for teams.
So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 49. Wilson's going to get the ball. He cuts up the middle for a gain of around 6. Race Wilson. We'll have a few years left of him. Great athlete. Agile. He fights for extra yards. He maybe not have a lot of size. He doesn't have a lot of size, but he's got a few years to put on that size. So we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, he doesn't need it, though. He's an
yeah,
athlete.
he's too quick.
He's an athlete. He can do it all. And
the size will be even more deadly.
Yep.
But yeah, Wilson, great athlete. Known him since I was in 4th grade. Here's a carry by Connor Entz. Not much. Possibly a 1-yard loss. So that time the running game didn't work out for the Mustangs. There's going to be a flag. It's going to be on the Mustangs. Holding call. That's going to send the Mustangs back 10 yards.
Hey, Mustang fans, we want to remind you that Bell Bank Mortgage is proud to support the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs. Rates are great, so if you're considering moving up or maybe even becoming a homeowner for the first time, talk to the experts at Bell. We'll help you make home happen. Bell Bank Mortgage, equal housing lender. Go Mustangs.
2nd and 16 now after that holding call on the Mustangs from the 43. Not a lot of offense here in the second half. Morgantine's going to roll it to his right. Great block there by Hendricks. Incomplete. Pass was intended for number 87, Xander Newton.
That was a good pickup by Hendricks. There had a blitz coming there for Century, and Josh picked it up, kept his quarterback clean, gave him an opportunity to make that completion. It didn't work out, but if I'm Grant Workentine, I'm making sure I thank Josh Hendricks for that when I get to the huddle.
2.5 minutes remaining. Still no scores here in the second half. 3rd and long here for the Mustangs. Workentine's going to drop straight back, dumps it off to Hendricks. He's going to cut up to his left, and he's right around the 44. Great screen pass there to Hendricks.
Great play call.
It was great because Century was blitzing on that side and completely took advantage of the over pursuit by the Patriots there.
4th and 3 now. Pick up of around 13 there on the screen pass for Josh Hendricks. So it's going to be 4th and 3 from the 44. I believe the Mustangs will go for it.
Maybe going to look to, with the cadence, draw him off
Right.
sides again.
I like this call by Coach Noon, being a little more aggressive now. Morgantine's going to keep it. Oh, is he going to get it? I believe he's just short. Just short. The Patriots make the 4th down stand. Morgantine didn't like that, so the Patriots will get the ball back right around the 41. Less than 2 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
So, Tom, last drive, saw Cheyenne opt to, just take advantage of the field position, make Century drive the long drive. Now with the 4th and 3, going for it, maybe changing things up a little bit, but it's always easier in hindsight. But do you think you punt there?
It all depends on the feeling that you get at that time. You just kind of you go in that situation, and he felt like they were driving it, and felt like Workentine maybe they had a play, and so coaches just sometimes go off of their gut, and that's one thing that I always try to do is you go off the feeling that you get, and if you go by that all the time, I think you're gonna do well.
Jacob Bosley, number 3 there on the carry for the Patriots, 5'10", 185 pounds. He's a senior, plays running back and linebacker.
And maybe playing the percentages, you become a little predictable as well. So following that gut makes defenses think a little bit more as well.
There's nothing wrong with being aggressive. Dahl's going to keep it here. Picks up 2 yards.
Yeah, faking the run to number 9, Caleb Cooper, the receiver, in motion, and then deciding to keep it. Just kind of a play out of NDSU book where your playbook where you're faking that jet sweep, and then keeping it up the middle with whoever they had, Brock Jensen, Carson Wentz, Easton Stick. But playing for Coach Wingenbach, you kind of know his style, and then watching Coach Newton, you kind of know his style where. Coach Wingenbach, he's a little bit more conservative. He's always going to kick it deep on the kickoff. He's always going to punt it, where Newton's going to, do some onside, things like that.
Dahl's going to drop back. He dumps it off to Arndt. Tackled. Not a lot on that play.
Well covered as the third quarter comes to an end with 5 seconds to go here.
14-0. No scores yet.
No scores yet. Fourth down and 8 to go. And Coach Wingelbach will have a few seconds to think about that as we're going to take a break here. And we'll see you on the other side as the fourth quarter begins.
So we are back here just a minute away, or we're about to get the fourth quarter underway here. It's going to start off with a punt here. And the Mustangs 12 minutes away from defeating the Bismarck Century Patriots and claiming that #1 spot in the poll.
I think Tate Gustafson there really wanted to pick that ball up and try and make something happen, but smart play. Even though Cheyenne's going to be pinned deep to start the fourth quarter here, just too risky to try and pick that up and make something happen. So
yeah, no damage done there.
No,
You're still getting the football on the 10-yard line.
So here we go. Mustangs get the ball back once again. We'll see if someone can, just anyone can punch in to score here. No one scored in the third quarter. It's 14-0 still. I believe the Mustangs are not going to be too aggressive here. But you don't want to come back on your heels and play too conservative as well, because Century can just light it up real quick. They're capable of doing that. Here's a handoff to Hendricks to the right. Picks up 1 to 2 yards. Once again, that run to Hendricks up the middle, that dive is not working well for the Mustangs.
So as we look forward a little bit, next week brings up the end of the regular season here for both teams. Sheyenne going to be hosting here Fargo Davies. And then the playoffs are going to be set to start in 2 weeks.
Here's a pitch to Wilson on the outside. Gets up to around the 15. 3-yard gain there.
Great job by Workington there of reading the pitch man and raking it down and getting a nice end-over-end pitch to Race Wilson. Race Wilson getting the football and spinning off that one tackler and getting positive plays there, putting the Mustangs in 3rd and 5.
So here's 3rd and 5 coming up from the 15. Mustangs looking to get a first down here and some momentum going here and possibly put this game out of reach. It's certainly not over, though. Nice. Here's a handoff to Entz up the middle. Nice gain there.
Great job.
It's going to be a first down.
Great job by Connor Entz of just getting that football and taking off right away and sprinting north and south and not trying to stretch it out. Getting right up that seam and picking up the first down. And that definitely is huge for Cheyenne. Give them some breathing room. Take off, 2-3 minutes off the clock. Right now it's fourth quarter, 10-10 left on the clock for the Cheyenne Mustangs.
So 1st and 10 from the 22. 2 minutes here into the fourth quarter. Handoff to Hendricks up the middle. Nice gain. He fights for extra yards up to the 35. Another first down for the Mustangs. They keep the chains rolling. Century, as Dan Wolf said over here, Cheyenne's going to conclude the season against Fargo Davies. Century's going to conclude their season against the Minot Magicians at home next Thursday, October 21st at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Davies, they're the number 4 team in the state, number 5?
Number 4 team in the state in the last poll and have already been eliminated from the playoffs with the new strength of scheduling. And it's probably a 1-year experiment by the Activities Association, but it's what everyone had to live with, and it really placed an emphasis on those early games.
Well, so I started to question it too at first when the Mustangs came out absolutely flat against Fargo North, who was leading the EDC-A division. North was leading at halftime, I believe, 13-7, and then the Mustangs eventually woke up and shut out the Spartans in the second half, and the Mustangs were able to score 23 points of their own and winning 30-13 to keep their undefeated record alive. 2nd and 5 here from the 40. Another flag here. It's going to be on the Patriots. Another offside call there once again. Encroachment there.
Another free first down for the Mustangs.
That's like the 4th time tonight that's happened, and Wingenbach has absolutely got to be frustrated.
Under 9 minutes to go in the game, 8:55 left.
Not a lot of game time, and you can't make those. There's no room for those kinds of errors anymore, especially as we are getting inside 9 minutes here in the 4th quarter. That's just giving the Mustangs another free hand to keep the clock rolling and playing keep away. 1st and 10 from the 46. Here's a handoff to Hendricks on the right side. Nice gain there. He picks up around 2 to 3. He sure had a load of carries tonight. He's the Mustangs' main workhorse. As I've said, he's coming into this game. He had 145 rushing attempts onto the season. It's probably well over 160 by now.
Especially with Caden Rahr out this game with the bad shoulder. Lots being put on Hendrick's shoulders as he's carrying the load for the Mustangs.
Caden Rahr, his stats are looking like he's got 63 carries, 515 yards, and 3 scores. So he's a valuable back for the Mustangs. Hopefully we'll see him in the postseason. It's going to be a run up the middle.
You know, guys, what I'm liking here as I watch this, and we're going to have a dead ball situation here with the timeout for Century, but you know, Sheyenne is running that clock down, and again, that's when the advantage of a 3-year starter comes in. You can eat as much of that play clock as you can and keep that clock running, and that just makes it harder and harder for Century. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back right after this timeout.
So we are back here with 7:52 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Mustangs looking to just keep the ball, run the clock out. 3rd and 7 from the 49. Here's a handoff to Entz, up the middle. Not much.
Yeah,
stuffed at the line.
Yeah, Coach Wingenbach, you know, taking a timeout. He feels like this is a, you know, pivotal point in the football game where he can, you know, force the Mustangs to punt, still give them plenty of time to, you know, score and get a stop. Right now, you know, the problem for, you know, Century has been their offense. They only have 4 yards of offense in the second half.
Oh, that is unbelievable. The Mustangs, their D-line tonight has been incredible, and then the linebackers making a few plays. And then a couple of interceptions by the Mustangs as well. Noah Olson making one of them. Nice bounce there. Ball's going to end up inside the 15, right around the 14, 13-yard line, somewhere around there. Tough field position for the Patriots as they're looking for a desperate need for a score here with 7 minutes remaining. Not a lot of time. They're still down 2 scores, so they're going to have to get a quick score here and a quick stop and then get the ball back and score again if they want to get back in this game and force overtime. And with the trend of this game, it's going to be tough, too, because, as you said, Tom, 4 yards, that is a very, very, very small amount in this sport.
I would venture to say coming into this game, Century probably averages more than 4 yards per play. throughout
Right,
the season,
yeah.
and to only have 4 yards in the second
Yeah.
half, that's just not going to cut it against a team, a defense that's as stout as Cheyenne's. That just won't do it.
Century was coming into this game averaging 209 yards on the ground alone, and just 4 yards of total offense in the second half. That's ridiculous.
Total offense, they've been averaging 321 yards
a
game. And
321 yards.
I don't even know if they got over 80 in
this whole game.
This whole game.
No
and right
points
now
on
you
the
got
board.
6:22 left on the clock. Roll out
Here's
left.
Dahl. Here's Dahl. Rolls out to his left. He's going to keep it. He's going to pick up the first down. Biggest gain of the night for the Patriots. Brady Dahl rolls out to his left. Picks up a nice gain there, right around almost 20 yards.
Yep, and that would be 89 rollout and whatever they called for the Century Patriots. And if you don't have anything, you just turn it into a run play.
That was a run well over 20 yards there by Dahl. Patriots up to the 35 now, 1st and 10. Dahl's going to keep it once again. Picks up around 4 to 5.
Yeah, the Patriots going with their dual package, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 running back. And I think the Patriots, with their 2 receivers, they're either going to roll out to the two receivers, the twins. They're going to run a straight dive, or they're going to use that running back as a blocker, or if they got the single receiver, look for a throwback.
Century, 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here. And that's another stop in the backfield, way back at the 30. Mustangs D-line comes up big once again. Century's 29-game winning streak is on the ropes here as we approach 5 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was fun to watch on that jet sweep. That play to develop. Carter Menz just stretched it out. He took the outside, making sure that nobody was going to go outside of him, and that allowed number 11, Tanner Hego, to come in, the 5'10", 180-pound linebacker, to make the play. And I tell you what, that was fun to watch him fill the gap.
3rd and 8 now from the 37. Dahl's going to keep it up the middle. Tackled. He's short. Tackled right around the 40, so it's going to be another 4th down.
And how important was that on that previous play with knowing your job as the defensive end, to keep contained, to not let anyone get outside of you, and you're taking yourself out of the play in terms of probably making a tackle, but that makes the job of the rest of the defense so much easier.
This Mustang defense, they're just 4 minutes away from getting another shutout on the year as well. I believe it will be their 4th. They had a shutout 2 weeks ago against Minot, 37-0, and they also shut out Bismarck High and Grand Forks Central. Pass is caught right around the 48.
Tate Gustafson read that from the beginning, and he was all over that. If he makes that interception, he's gone for a pick 6, but well-thrown ball by Dahl as he just rifled that in. And it's going to be a 1st down for
you can tell Karsh had him schooled up. He's saying if they're in this formation, they're either going to run a fade, a throwback, or a quick hitch.
So Trayton Hinderer got his first catch of the night. Another pass is caught. Dahl making some great throws out here.
About 3.5 minutes left to go, so they have to be moving quickly here.
Trayton Hinderer with another catch. 2 catches in a row now for number 1, Trayton Hinderer. He's had a couple targets tonight. He's had around 4 to 5 targets. He's caught 2 of them. So Century up in the tempo now. As you said, Dan, 3 minutes and less than 3.5 minutes remaining here. Dahl's going to drop back. Great pressure by the Mustangs. Dahl's going to keep it. Great hit there. He's brought down by Matt Tribe, number 22. Number 22, Matt Tribe there on the stop.
That was lucky for the Mustangs there. There was a blown coverage. There was a guy that was wide open, number 88. He was just running a seam route, inside receiver. He was wide open. If the quarterback would have saw that, that would have been a touchdown for the Patriots. I don't know if anybody from Century saw that, so I don't know if they might go back to that.
2nd and 7 from the 35. Matt Tribe prevents Dahl from breaking free for a lot of yards. Dahl's going to drop back once again. He rolls to his right. There's going to be a flag. Great hit there by number 13.
Tate Gustafson.
Tate Gustafson.
And that's in the area that's generally going to be offensive holding.
So it's going to be a holding penalty on the Patriots. Another penalty they just can't afford to have here late in the game here where they're in a desperate need for a score. Holding call. So that's going to be 10 yards back. It's looking good right now for Sheyenne. 14-0. It's been a defensive duel here tonight. Sheyenne got 2 early scores on the first 2 drives of the game, and we haven't seen one since. And that was way back in the second quarter. Dahl's going to drop back. He goes to his left this time. A lot of pressure there. Rolls back up to his right. And Dahl, he's trying to, great juke. Oh. Intercepted by Nick Renner. Great pressure there by the Mustang defense, forcing Dahl to throw. And Brady Dahl just threw it right to Nick Renner for his 3rd interception of the night. Dahl 3 picks, not the night he wanted. Nick Renner gets his first pick of the night.
Yeah, great job by, the Sheyenne guys of just kind of being disciplined and staying on the receivers there and pursuing the quarterback. And, Brady Dahl did a great job of extending the play, of just trying to go. But at some point, you can't make a bad play worse.
No.
Yeah.
And so you just got to take
that
the
one
negative
needs to
play.
be thrown away or something like that. Jacob Kirkaby was all over him.
Yeah.
Chasing.
Oh, my goodness. He was, like, juking him left and right. He goes to his left, goes back to his right, and he's like, oh, I got to throw it. Throws it right to Nick Renner. Mustangs get the ball back. Their defense tonight has just been phenomenal watching. It's good to see here. It looks like the Mustangs are going to get a victory. Still got 2 minutes, though. Got to be smart.
Another timeout by Century. We'll go ahead and take a pause real quickly and be back on the other side of the timeout. Okay, welcome back to Sheyenne Mustang Stadium here. Just a reminder, we want to thank our sponsor for tonight, Bell Bank Mortgage. They are proud to support West Fargo Cheyenne sports, whether you're in the classroom, at home, or both. We hope you're inspired this year to push yourself beyond what you even imagined and never stop learning. Go Mustangs. Bell Bank Mortgage, equal housing lender.
Less than 2 minutes remaining here. Mustangs have the ball. 2nd and 8 from the 45 coming up. This is going to be – Century is a minute and a half from their first loss since the 2018 Dakota Bowl.
And they're on a 29-game win streak right now.
As I said. So their 29-game winning streak is on the ropes here. Not sure what happened.
It's going to be a false start here. I don't know if that's
yeah, they, Ents went in motion, and I don't know if another guy, kind of jumped.
Race Wilson moved.
I'm not sure what.
But with a minute 22 left, I think Cheyenne's going to be content to have that happen. Yeah, they're just going to look to keep something on the ground here, run the play clock down, get off a punt, kind of max protect, and take the victory and look forward to next week in the playoffs.
So the Mustangs are going to improve to 8-0 in the season. Century will drop to 7-1, and I believe this will put. It's going to be a penalty on the Patriots, I believe.
I think a face mask.
Face mask.
That should seal things.
Yeah, Century, I just didn't think they were focused. Wing box probably really frustrated with all the penalties called on Century. It's cost them a lot of stops. And Cheyenne's been able to capitalize. They've been keeping the ball away from the Patriots. And I think what won the game for the Mustangs tonight, though, is you look on the scoreboard, 14-0. the defense tonight was just phenomenal. Sacks by Parson, Menz. You got picks by Gustafson, Olsen, and Renner. Just an all-around great game for the Mustangs, and it's going to propel them into the #1 spot in the state poll, I believe, for the first time in program history for football. 3rd and 1 here from the 48. Hendricks will pick up the first down. That's going to seal things. Less than a minute to go, and Sheyenne also, it's got to feel good for them too. Going with 1 game left in the regular season, their confidence level is definitely is going to rise here after beating, the team that's defeated them 2 years in a row in the state championship. And going into the postseason, Cheyenne's is going to have a lot of confidence, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
Century Burton's their last time out here, and guys, we look forward. So we said next week the Mustangs are going to host Davies here. Even though Davies is out of the playoffs, it's still a pride game for both programs, and certainly you don't want to take a step backward on a letdown game for Sheyenne, kind of that trap game, and Davies is going to come to play.
Davies is going to try to prove a point that if they upset the #1 team, are they going to be ranked number 3, number 2 in the state, and there'll be a team that won't be going to the playoffs.
It's going to be
due to the format.
It's going to be a pride game for both teams, really.
And some other scores here: Legacy 38, Bismarck High 22, 6:22 left in the 4th quarter, and then we also have end of the 3rd quarter: Jamestown 14, Minot 0.
Cheyenne's just going to take a kneel here. This win, man, it's great to see. Century's 29-game winning streak will be snapped. That will no longer be. It's not going to reach 30. It'll be Century's first loss since they lost in the 2018 Dakota Bowl to Bismarck High. Cheyenne's going to be the #1 team in the state poll, and they'll improve to 8-0 on the season. Their undefeated record remains alive.
Hey, and congrats to Coach Jeremy Newton, his staff, and his players. They were ready to play tonight, and
yes.
They were good on all sides of the ball, and they really controlled. We talked about at the outset who controls the line of scrimmage, and they did a much better job than Century did, and probably it's going to cause Century to maybe take a long, hard look in the mirror at themselves and what they have going on. But the playoffs start in 2 weeks, and everyone knows that's a brand new season, so
tournament time.
Yep, Coach Newton should be happy, but also understand that the job's only partially done.
It's not done yet.
Yeah, I'm just really pleased with the Sheyenne O-line. We'll give Mason Hart, Sam Carpenter, Oakley, Eagleson, Dawson Galdi, and Brennan Selheim. An outstanding job by those front 5 guys. You look in the last 2 Dakota Bowls, it just seems like the Century O-line has dominated the line of scrimmage. They got up early. They took Sheyenne out of the game. And force Sheyenne to do something different. And tonight, Sheyenne was able to control the whole game. They were able to do what they wanted to do, and that is to run the football and just wear teams out. So when you get into that 4th quarter, you're just really wearing teams out. And this is a game tonight where Century, I don't know how many penalties they have on season, but they had a lot of penalties tonight, and about 4 of those resulted in 4 first downs for the Mustangs. So that's something they're going to have to clean up. Hopefully these 2 teams
meet each other again.
Can meet each other again in the championship. But right now it's all about 1 game at a time, because once you get into the playoffs, you lose, you're done.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Mustangs win it 14-0. Mustangs up. Bismarck Century Patriots down. So for Jackson Miller,
Dan Wolf,
Tom Schaffner,
Mustang Media is out.
self-worth.